Here we go again for the top of the third inning. We apologize that our stream went down for a moment, but we should be back up and running. The Gatemen in a scoreless game with the Braves at the plate right now. They've out-hit the Bravos 4-0 in this one. And batting in their half of the third inning, Tres Gonzalez with a 2-2 count after fouling off a 2-1 pitch a moment ago. He singled his first time up, extended a hit streak to 13 games. The 2-2 pitch, ripped into left field, drifting over toward the line is Nick Goodwin, and on a tailing line drive, makes the catch in front of the wall for out number 1.
Well, Gonzalez had a double against YD where he looped a ball into that part of left field. It's a good piece of hitting from Gonzalez, but hung in the air a little bit too long for Goodwin, and he's able to make the catch.
1 out, nobody on, scoreless game here at Doran Park. Jim Jarvis squares to bunt for the second time this game, and it gets past Jake Bennett. Jim Jarvis with 2 bunt singles on the evening, and he is now 2 for 2 in one of the more interesting ways you can do it.
And 2 bunts that, to be quite frank, were not well executed. But
you're not wrong.
Moylan got the first bunt 2/3 of the way down the first base line. It was more like a grounder, and then he just missed a tag on Jarvis. This time, Bennett tries to reach out with his bare hand and snag the grounder, but misses it. It gets past the mound, and Jarvis is safe again.
Why he didn't put his glove down, I don't really know. He tried to bare hand what turned into a pretty hard ground ball right back at the mound. But Jarvis is aboard, we'll take it, and Tommy Troy at the dish for the Gatemen. Five hits now for the Gatemen. They're still scoreless through 2 1/3 innings of their offense as Tommy Troy takes a ball, goes ahead in the count 2-0. Troy struck out his last time up on a 3-2 slider. Now the pitch from Bennett is a fastball fouled off for strike 1.
Well, the Gatemen with 5 hits now, Nick. At some point that has to translate into runs.
You'd think, but not the way this season's gone. Bennett on the mound. Throws to first base to check on Jarvis, who has a short lead.
He's dangerous on first. Stolen 7 bases in 8 tries this summer.
Bennett kicks, now goes to first base as Jarvis takes off for second. He dives, and he is out at second base. A closer play than it should have been, but Josh Moylan got the throw from Bennett and then snapped it to Christian Knapczyk, who applied the tag on Jim Jarvis. Yet another Gateman cut down stealing.
And that's happened a few times too many this summer. It's gotten better as the season has gone on. The Gatemen now is a team 41 for 64, as that technically counts as a stolen base try.
Tommy Troy spits on a slider, sends the count to 3-1.
The thing is, out of the times the Gatemen have been caught stealing, it's been a lot of instances like that where somebody's been picked off rather than getting thrown out at second.
Troy sends a chopper to third base, takes a low hop. Agnos stays with it, and with a long throw to first, Troy is safe. The ball popped out of the mitt of Josh Moylan, who made a beautiful stretch, ends up in a full split, but couldn't come up with the most important part, the baseball, and now he's down in front of the bag, holding what appears to be his left hamstring.
We saw the home plate umpire go down last night, Nick, and he did not return to the game. You can only hope Moylan's okay, but he is grabbing at that left hamstring.
Tommy Troy at first base now for the Gatemen, but more important is the health of Josh Moylan. We'll give you an update on that as best we can when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone, a home run.
That home run's brought to you by Eastern Propane and Oil, another scholarship for a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, including new majors in sport and recreational management, graphic design, marketing, and computer science, online at www.currycollege.edu. Whether you are recently retired or still working, Fairway Financial can help you create clearly defined retirement income strategies to help protect your wealth, create guaranteed income for life, and provide a legacy for your family. We are committed to earning your trust by thoroughly understanding your goals and dreams and helping you gain greater financial confidence. To learn more, visit Fairway Financial in South Yarmouth or go to fairwayfinancial.net.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including fifth-year master's programs at www.curry.edu.
Back from Doran Park, where as Diodati comes to the plate, hits a ground ball into right field for a base hit. Tommy Troy is around second, and now he moves into third base. Owen Diodati with a first pitch base hit, but
A lot to unpack here, Nick.
yeah, really. Josh Moylan just helped off the field with an apparent hamstring injury.
Now batting, the DH,
Helped off by
Notre
the
Dame,
Bourne trainer and the catcher, John Garcia.
And on that last grounder to right field, Troy should have scored from third. You have to have heads-up base running. That's also partly on the third base coach, Cody Doyle. Dalton Rushing mishandled the ball in right field and hadn't even gotten control of it when Troy had scooted into third and was just standing on the bag. He probably could have scored from third. I think there was a good chance that it would have made it to home plate, but
I don't agree with that, Jack, I'll be honest. Rushing was in very shallow right field. Tommy Troy was just getting to third base. He has 90 feet to go, and Rushing, I know he's not an outfielder by trade, but that would be going first to home on a single. That's a long way to go.
But if the right fielder is bobbling the ball as you're getting to third base, you should be able to beat that out to the plate, especially with two outs. If you're going to send Cameron James home like you did in the last inning, why wouldn't you send the runner home in that scenario? Agree to disagree, I guess.
I guess so. That's fine. Tommy Troy will stay at third. That's the only thing that matters for now. The Gatemen with two outs in the inning. Diodati, there's a positive with a base hit. And nice to see him back on the horse after a stretch of tough games in a row. Jack Brannigan coming to the plate now with a chance to drive in one, maybe even two, with the kind of power he's showed in the past few games. First pitch from Jake Bennett is a ball off the outside corner.
Well, here we go, Nick. 7 hits on the game. Will it be the 8th one that finally brings a run in? Brannigan had 3 RBIs yesterday.
The 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike. Jarvis with a bunt single. That was the first hit in the inning. He was ultimately thrown out stealing second. Tommy Troy singled, then Owen Diodati singled as well. Base hits across the board for the Gatemen, who have runners at the corners. 2 outs. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Brannigan. That's popped towards shallow right field. Rushing coming on. Schobel going back. Rushing dives, and he doesn't make the catch. The ball drops in front of Dalton Rushing. He throws it in. Meanwhile, a run scores. Diodati moves into third, and Brannigan with an RBI single puts the Gatemen on the board first.
Well, Nick, it took 8 hits, but the Gatemen get the run across. That's a big-time piece of hitting from Brannigan, just far enough away from Rushing. He gave it everything he had and laid out, but just missed. Ball got right under his glove, and the Gatemen take the lead over the Braves.
So now Oklahoma battle part 2. Jake Bennett pitching to his teammate Jimmy Crooks, who checks it up and takes the ball. Crooks with runners at the corners, grounded out his first time up.
It's a much higher leverage appearance, though, Nick. He was leading off the second the last time he came up.
Brannigan a short lead off first, now extends as the pitch comes and Crooks fouls it off. Slight breeze blowing out toward left field. The Gatemen playing here at Doran Park for just the second time this season. 0-4 against the Braves and trying to change that. They're up 1-0 in the top of the third. Here's the pitch to Crooks. Brannigan takes off, and that's driven it in the air out to left field. Chasing it back is Goodwin. He backpedals toward the track and makes the grab. Crooks barreled it up. His teammate gives him a look and a wink, and that's the inning. The Gatemen get 1 and go up as we start the bottom of the third on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Here we go for the bottom of the third. Agnos, Garcia, then the top of the order coming up for the Braves. Gatemen took a 1-0 lead in the top of the inning. And now Kirschiper back on the mound, who gets a changeup past Agnos for strike 1. Gatemen have out-hit the Braves 8-0 at this point in the game. Have 1 run to show for it, Jack.
Story of the summer, but they still have the lead.
Kirschiper from the windup. Here's the 1-1. That misses outside. Agnos out of East Carolina, a .269 hitter in college this 21 season. 6 home runs, 40 RBI, as he takes a 2-1 fastball in for a strike. First plate appearance of the game for Agnos. The 2-2 is a fastball. He spins out of the way, and it fills up the count.
Agnos, one of 2 Eastern Carolina players in the lineup for the Braves today. Moylan exited the game in the top of the inning after a hamstring injury trying to stretch at first.
Kirschipper kicks, fires, and strikes out Agnos. Got him reaching for the fastball. It was close, not sure if it was a strike.
The catcher from Grambling State.
But Agnos down on strikes, and that's the first out of the bottom of the third.
Well, I'm not sure if it was a strike, Nick, but it was a big-time pitch from Kirschipper. Just far enough out of Agnos' range, but he still felt like he had to swing at it.
Third strikeout now for Kirschipper. He had 2 last inning, 1 here. And it's just 1 out of the way through the third inning. Nobody on, and John Garcia at the dish. Leans back out of the way of a high fastball. It catches the top corner of the zone. Count evens at 1. Cuts on an off-speed pitch.
That was a slider from Kirschipper, and now he's rolling, riding the momentum from the second inning, picking up his pace.
The 1-2, caught on and missed. Garcia loses the bat. Can't find the baseball either, and that's out number 2.
That was a tough one for Garcia.
Batting, the shortstop from the University of Louisville, number 2.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Cole Kirschipper.
And the one note I had written next to him before the game was strikeout machine. He's now struck out 4 of the last 5. He has 17 strikeouts in close to 12 innings of work.
Missed inside with a slider to Christian Knapczyk. The leadoff man for the Braves up with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Base is empty. And Kirschipper buries a slider, swung on and missed by Knapczyk.
I never understood why hitters didn't step out of the box more. Knapczyk finally does, 0-2, to try and slow down some of the momentum.
Certainly a good tactic, because that's a fastball right by Knapczyk. He took it for strike 3. Cole Kirschipper strikes out the side. He has 5 on the evening. The Gatemen go to the 4th, leading 1-0.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
That double play is brought to you by TM Ryder Insurance Agency. Package your home and auto insurance for the perfect double play.
Wherever you call home, from Boston to the South Shore to the South Coast to the Cape and Islands, Rogers Gray has you covered for all of your coastal homeowners insurance needs. Rogers Gray is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Learn more at rogersgray.com.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
Catchers aren't the only ones protecting home.
With Rogers Gray, you have more coastal homeowners insurance options and a true expertise in their people. Protect your home with Rogers Gray. Rogers Gray is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Learn more at rogersgray.com. Welcome back to the Gatemen Baseball Network. Nick Magas alongside Jack Sadighian, where the Gatemen lead 1-0 here at Doran Park and enter the top of the fourth inning. They come to bat with Cameron James, Kellum Clark, and then Cade Kern to face a new pitcher for the Bravos, Ked Turner.
Yeah, right-handed look now for the Gatemen.
First pitch slider taken low and inside by Cameron James.
2.54 ERA in 7 games. 3 of those were starts. He's gone 7 2/3 and has 16 strikeouts.
Fastball catches the bottom of the zone.
And we saw fastball, slider, changeup from him in his warm-up.
That was the slider. James fouls it off. 1-2 count now on the first of the 2 Mississippi State guys.
In his last appearance against Catuit, he gave up 6 runs, Nick, but only 1 earned run in 3 1/3.
I don't know exactly how that inning went down, but I'd love to see the recap. 6 runs, 1 earned. As that one's poked to the second baseman, up on a couple of hops is Tanner Schobel, and he gets it to first for out number 1.
Well, a lot of times that will happen, Nick, when you get the runs that come across after what should have been the third out on an error.
Number 45, Kellum Clark.
For example, if the second baseman makes an error that would have been the third out, and then the bases are loaded, a bases clearing double, none of those runs would be earned. Still weird to see 6 runs, only 1 earned.
Interesting thing to take in is that's a breaking ball high to Kellum Clark, who comes up with 1 out, nobody on. Ken Turner on the mound now, came on in relief for Jake Bennett, who had a good 3 innings of work, gave up just 1 run off of 8 hits for the Gatemen. They had timed him up pretty well. They'd hit him pretty hard, but only have 1 run to show for it at this point. Count evens at 1 after Clark fouls off a Turner fastball. Now the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt.
Well, as tough as it is, Nick, to have only 1 run on 8 hits, sunk cost at this point. Those past hits aren't going to help you anymore, and the Gatemen have the lead through 3. And with the way Kirschiper has been pitching, hopefully the Braves will stay shut out for a couple more innings.
The 2-1 to Clark. Misses inside. Most games we've seen Adam Major and then Cole Kirschiper. That's been the best 1-2 punch that the Gatemen have. We have not seen Major out of the bullpen yet, but I wouldn't be shocked if he comes in relief of Kirschiper today, as a changeup goes right by Kellum Clark. A good 3-1 changeup now fills up the count. Turner trying to battle back against the first baseman out of Mississippi State. Turner from the windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball in the dirt, and that's ball 4. So Clark is aboard with a 1-out walk.
Now batting, the right
And that brings up the right fielder, Cade Kern.
Cade Kern.
First walk the Gatemen have drawn today. Nice job by Clark. And Kern, a base hit his first time up to center field. Same base hit that Cameron James got thrown out on from center field trying to score.
Kern takes a high fastball for ball 1. He was 0 for 1 last night in the Gatemen's home game against Bourne before he was pinch hit for by Owen Diodati. Now a 1-0 count. Kellum Clark on first base gets a short lead. And Turner comes home with a fastball, gets it over for strike 1.
Well, Clark not one who's going to most likely try and steal. We have seen the Gatemen try and execute several hit and runs so far this summer.
Kern's been swinging a better bat, though, in the last couple games. Would be surprised to see them take it out of his hands here, especially not with 2 strikes. But as we've seen, like you said, Jack, the hit and run almost always in play for the Gatemen. Ken Turner set. Now the pitch. Kern chops it foul to the third base side off the netting in front of the Brave dugout.
One thing you mentioned, though, Nick, has been very true the last few games. Cade Kern swinging the bat much better. What he struggled on this season, high-velocity pitches in on the hands. But done a better job recently. And a little more patient at the plate as well.
The 1-2 from Turner is a breaking ball in the dirt. Threw it about 55 feet, wasn't even close. So the count evens at 2. And Cade Kern will go back to work. Righty-righty matchup here. 1-0 lead for the Gatemen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Clark at first base. Turner checks the runner. Now sets at the chest with the glove, lowers it to the belt, and delivers the pitch. Cade Kern fouls it off, lives to fight another day.
And one thing Kern's done better recently is he's realizing that, yes, to hit the ball far, you need to swing the bat hard, but you don't have to be taking your hardest cuts every single time you're at the plate.
Bat speed doesn't necessarily come with violent swings. As the 2-2 pitch once again poked foul. Breaking ball after breaking ball from Ken Turner. Cade Kern has been out in front of all of them, but not too far. He's gotten a piece of just about everything and battling with 2 strikes. Clark remains on first base, 1 out in the inning. Gatemen ahead by a run. Kern digs in, bat resting on his right shoulder, and he waits for the 2-2. He'll have to wait a bit longer as the throw to first went to check on Kellum Clark. Clark walked with 1 out after Cameron James grounded out. Kern, the third batter to the plate in the top of the 4th. Turner kicks and fires. That's strike 3. Fastball was right there. Kern couldn't pull the trigger after seeing a number of sliders in a row, and will throw it back to the top of the Gateman order in Tres Gonzalez.
That's just a great pitch from Ken Turner. You said it, Nick. A lot of off-speed in a row. Kern wasn't ready for the fastball, and both him and Turner knew it right away.
Nine total base runners in the game for the Gatemen, off of 8 hits and a walk. Now with 2 outs and Clark at first base, Gonzalez checks it up on a good slider that finds the inside corner for strike 1. Tres Gonzalez 1 for 2 with a single and a line out. Now cuts on a breaking ball and misses. It was in the dirt and goes down, no balls, 2 strikes.
Over this 13-game hitting streak, have not seen a lot of swing and misses from Tress like that one, Nick. Way out in front of that breaking ball and just didn't see the pitch well.
Nothing in 2 to Tres Gonzalez. Here's the pitch. Sent in the air towards center field. Colby Thomas will come on, waves his arms. He wants it, he gets it. And that's out number 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Gateman still ahead by a run.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
Catchers aren't the only ones protecting home. With Rogers Gray, you have more coastal homeowners insurance options and a true expertise in their people. Protect your home with Rogers Gray. Rogers Gray is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Learn more at rogersgray.com.
South Coast Health Operators of Charlton Memorial, St. Luke's, and Toby Hospitals delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as Southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Healthcare, plus something more.
Whether it's life insurance to safeguard your loved ones, an umbrella policy to protect your teen driver, or making sure your home is covered from storm damage, Rogers Gray is there to guide you. Insurance is more than just a box to check.
Cole Kirschipper back on the mound for the Gatemen. As he gets a first pitch over the plate for a strike. That one's driven into right field for a base hit off the bat of Tanner Schobel.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University of Louisville, number 20, Dalton Rushing.
So Dalton Rushing will come to the plate after Schobel singled to lead off the inning. 1-0 lead for the Gatemen. Fouls off a breaking ball to the backstop. Rushing has not recorded an at-bat in this game. Walked in the first inning.
Kirschipper was very careful against Rushing. Pitched around him even when he had him with 2 strikes. And we've had a tight strike zone tonight, which is rare on the Cape.
Breaking ball finds the zone for strike 2 on Rushing. Needs to be careful here.
And not upset at all with the tight strike zone. I personally prefer it.
In a league that's already dominated by pitchers, the tighter strike zone can be necessary, as that's strike 3 to Rushing. A very good Brave hitter down on 3 pitches. A fastball down the middle just froze him, and the 6th strikeout of the game for Cole Kirschipper is out number 1 in the bottom of the 4th.
Just shows you what kind of groove Kirschipper is in. I mean, he's hitting all of his spots. The fastball is working, the slider is there, and he's painting corners through 3 1/3.
As I was saying before, though, the tighter strike zone can be necessary to give some of that advantage back to the hitters, or at least even the score a little bit when it's the first time playing with wood bats. And if you have a zone that's, 1-2 balls off the plate, which sometimes it feels like that's what it is, it can make it even tougher than it already is for hitters who are trying to adjust to some really good arms in some not-so-hitter-friendly ballparks and not-so-hitter-friendly conditions. Schobel draws a throw over to first base. He's singled to lead off the inning.
We've talked a few times this summer about different conferences and the strike zones they're known for. For example, the SEC, a tight strike zone, the Big Ten, a much wider strike zone.
Ben Huber now the batter. And it's relatively consistent umpire to umpire within a conference, but when you have an amalgamation of guys coming together from just about every baseball conference you can dream of, I think everybody's a little bit surprised one way or another. Sometimes for some guys it's bigger, for some guys it's smaller, but
and Joe LaBella, we have not seen yet behind the plate this summer.
The strike zone is tight, but it's been consistent on both sides. Haven't heard much chirping from either dugout. Huber cuts through a 1-1 pitch, goes down a ball and 2 strikes.
That's the biggest thing, Nick. You can debate tight strike zone versus big strike zone, but the most important thing is consistency, because that's when hitters and pitchers can prepare and know that if they do a certain action, this is going to be called a strike, this is going to be called a ball.
And when you see as that pitch misses outside, when you see guys upset with umpires' calls in this league, a lot of that can be due to just different interpretations of where the strike zone is and where it should be. It's not necessarily one guy sees something and another guy sees something else, but as much as it is just that pitch is close. Is it a strike or is it not? And guys might very well have two different definitions, as Huber staying alive with 2 strikes, fouls a pitch off of the face mask of Jimmy Crooks. Crooks is fine. Kirschiper gets a new baseball, and we'll try again with a 2-2 pitch.
And I think, coincidence or not, a lot of the arguments we've seen have been from ACC, SEC type guys that are used to that tight strike zone. We've seen Cameron James, Kellum Clark get upset with strike calls. Tres Gonzalez, rare, but at times he has. Jim Jarvis has talked about the strike zone to us at batting practice.
Sean McLean the same as well. He's from the Pac-12, but was really the guy that I went the most in depth with that strike zone talk with, and he was saying it's a lot bigger here than it is in the Pac-12. And for the guys coming from Team USA, as ball 3 misses, he fills up the count to Ben Huber. Coming from Team USA, it's even smaller there than it is in some of those, much closer to a major league zone than it is in some of the SEC, ACC type conferences. So for guys like Skeens and Deverell Harrison, who have come back from there for the game, and we haven't really seen too much of Skeens at the plate since then, but Harrison, who's been batting, been struggling a little bit since he got back, and wouldn't be shocked if that's part of the reason why. Full count pitch coming to Ben Huber, and it's popped up behind the plate and out of play. Schobel singled to lead off the inning. He's drawn a number of throws from Kirschiper, but remains on first base for the time being. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, 1-0, the lead for the Gatemen. Try again with the payoff pitch. That misses outside. And a fastball from Kirschiper never really had a chance. It's his second walk of the game and the second base runner on in the inning for the Braves.
Well, here we go. The first trouble Kirschiper's run into, Nick. Hadn't given up a hit till this inning, and you just said only his second walk. First time the Braves have had 2 base runners.
Colby Thomas, the batter, struck out on a mean breaking ball from Kirschiper his first time up. And now takes a fastball on the upper part of the zone for strike 1. Runner at first, runner at second. 1 out, and the pitch misses up and away. Crooks will now go and talk to his pitcher.
Well, I don't think Kirschiper has pitched poorly in this inning by any means. He's just a little off on a couple of his pitches, and Crooks probably just wants to clarify some things.
He is 1-1 on Thomas, so has been finding the zone consistently. Right. Walked Huber with a full count. Executed a good pitch to Schobel, who didn't hit it particularly hard for the first base hit and the only base hit of the inning.
And the at-bat against Huber, a couple foul-offs with 2 strikes.
They get squared away, whatever they needed to get squared away, and now Kirschiper comes with the 1-1. Fastball right by Colby Thomas.
It's so hard to predict what guys are talking about at the mound. It could very well just be, hey, do you remember the scouting report on this guy? After the first pitch,
want to go grab dinner after the game?
Yeah.
The 1-2. Popped up. That's on the first base side and moving foul.
Well, and if you've ever seen Bull Durham, the famous mound visit scene in that movie, where they're talking about what gift the first baseman should get his girlfriend. It could be anything.
So what's Kellum Clark going to get his girlfriend? We don't know. Yeah, a championship ring. The pitch. That gets by Jimmy Crooks, goes through the 5-hole and to the backstop. Runners will each advance a base. And not what you wanted if you're Cole Kirschiper, Jimmy Crooks, or the Gatemen. Now takes the double play out of order. And that could come back to bite them with 1 out in the inning.
Well, that most likely will be ruled a wild pitch, Nick, but that's something that Crooks knows he has to stay in front of. And he's been struggling with that the last couple weeks. After dazzling the first 20 games or so behind the plate. I don't think we saw any pass balls from him or hardly any mistakes on wild pitches. We've seen a few recently.
That's a tough spot to miss a ball as a catcher. Just get the glove down first between your legs, protect that gap that exists when you go down to your knees, and Crooks just didn't get it down in time as Colby Thomas fouls off another pitch with 2 strikes. Glove goes down first as a catcher, then you drop to your knees, and Crooks just didn't quite get it down in time. Runner at second, runner at third. 1 out. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Thomas. Fastball high, and the count goes full.
Second straight batter with a full count. This one more critical. I think you just have to give him your best fastball here.
First base is open. Can have a little fun if he so chooses. But like you said, Jack, that's probably the smarter option in this situation. Infield in for the Gatemen at all 4 positions. Kirschipper trying to battle out of his first jam here at Doran Park. Kicks and fires the 3-2. Check swing. No, he did not go, and that's ball 4. The patented appeal to second base from the Cape Cod League. And what do you know? He did not go around. That loads the bases.
It's tough for Kirschipper. 2 straight batters with a full count, and both of them walk. George Carlejo, the pitching coach for the Gatemen's, going to head to the mound.
So Carlejo out to the mound. They'll continue to discuss something of which we have no idea other than the approach to Nick Goodwin, who's now coming up with the bases loaded, 1 out. Gatemen still with a 1-0 lead over the Braves. They've out-hit Bourne 8-1, but right now that number doesn't feel important. As the tying run on third, the lead run on second, and 1 more on first.
Well, Kirschipper's shown the ability to strike batters out in this game. 6 Ks already, including the only out of the 4th, and he could use some of that magic right now. It's just been high leverage pitches that he's missed this inning. It hasn't been that he's pitched bad, Nick.
Sometimes that doesn't matter, though, as Nick Goodwin stands in and cuts through a fastball.
And part of that is just the veteran approach these Bourne Braves hitters have. There's a reason they're top 5 in every hitting category, second in average and third in on-base percentage coming into this game. They know how to work counts.
And they know how to drive in runs as a fastball catches the inside corner. Goodwin leapt out of the way, but Crooks stuck it well and gets the call for the left-hander out of Illinois. Bases loaded, infield playing their positions for the most part, actually corners in. And the 0-2 pitch is off the hands, popped up in the infield. Jarvis coming on, Troy coming on, dives, and makes the catch.
Oh, man.
What a grab by Tommy Troy, saving at least a run.
That was ridiculous. Jarvis wasn't going to make it. Troy comes in and lays out. It would have been tough to make a play if either of them got it without making a catch.
And if it hit the ground, the double play would have been impossible. So it, at the very least, would have scored the run from third. And the best the Gatemen infield could have done is get the batter at first. Now the bases stay loaded, a big second out. And in the box now, Max Anderson. Anderson, a .296 hitter on the Cape League season. Took the first 2 pitches outside the strike zone from Cole Kirschipper. Now a 2-0 fastball misses inside, and Kirschipper once again in a tough spot. 3 balls, no strikes. Bases loaded and this time not a base to give.
Right, and that's why I want him to go after Colby Thomas, because now with the bases loaded, you get behind an account. You got to throw a strike.
There's the strike. Fastball caught the inner third.
Now you have to throw a strike again. Probably has to be a fastball again. He's thrown his slider for a lot of strikes, too.
Here's the 3-1. Fouled off. Kirschipper right back in the count. The third payoff pitch of the inning will come in the biggest situation yet. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and a full count on Max Anderson.
The first 2 didn't go Kirschipper's way, but this is the biggest one.
Cole Kirschipper is set. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. We'll try it once again.
The high fastball, Nick, I don't think it would have been a strike. Anderson liked the pitch anyway, swung at it.
Gatemen ahead of Bourne 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. 3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded. Kirschipper delivers. Fouled off, same pitch, same spot, same result. Max Anderson out of Nebraska is battling.
Well, this is what he does. He is such a tough out.
Josh Moylan injured over there on a stretch at first base. Max Anderson came in the game for Moylan defensively, now gets his first at-bat and is 3-2 once again. That's grounded back toward the middle. Jarvis over toward the bag, picks it up, throws to first, and there's the third out. Kirschipper navigates through trouble, gets out of the 4th without allowing a run, and preserves the lead for the Gatemen. We go to the 5th on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Top of the 5th we go, 1-0 Gatemen. Cole Kirschipper navigating out of trouble. The bases loaded with 1 out for the Braves in the last frame, and they stayed loaded to the end. First pitch to Jim Jarvis. Grounded on an awkward hop to the left side. The shortstop Knapczyk charges and misses the ball in the infield grass. Jarvis is safe at first. What in the world? Did that hit a rock?
That hit something. Took 2 funny hops.
And the home plate umpire, Joe LaBelle, is laughing about it, walking back behind the plate.
That was a ground ball to third off the bat is what it was. And it took a hard right, ended up a slow roller at the shortstop Knapczyk. And when it was all said and done, nobody really had a play. Nobody had an idea where it was going.
And it's another leadoff hit for the Gatemen. Jarvis on first. Now that one's grounded fair down the left field line. Off the bat of Tommy Troy. Jarvis into third. He'll stay put. A stand-up double for Tommy Troy, his 3rd of the season. And the Gatemen have runners on second and third with nobody out in the 5th.
The left fielder from the University of Alabama, number 12, Owen Diodati.
Well, after giving up a weak hit to Jim Jarvis. There's nothing Ken Turner wants to do more than get a quick out to the next batter. Tommy Troy understands that coming up, knowing he's probably going to get a first pitch strike, and jumps on it, driving it down the line, picking up a double, and putting the Gatemen in business with nobody out.
Owen Diodati at the plate now, swings at the first pitch, lines it into center field. Jarvis will score. Troy holds up at third. Diodati's 23rd RBI of the season. The Gatemen lead 2-0. 3 pitches and 3 hits for the Gatemen in the 5th.
Now batting,
the insurance run is nice for sure, but Diodati now 2 for 3 is an even better thing for the Gatemen, who really want nothing more than to see him get going. He's back in the cleanup spot tonight, and paying dividends it has so far. Couple base hits, that one an RBI, and it gives the Gatemen a 2-0 lead.
Runners on the corners, nobody out for Jack Brannigan. First pitch to him, he takes it for a strike. We are 4 pitches into the inning, Nick.
That is not very many pitches.
Thank you, analyst. Brannigan 1 for 2 with an RBI single. The 0-1, a breaking ball low. 1-1.
3 hits, a run scored already. That is not many pitches to have all that happen.
Troy on third, Diodati on first. Brannigan knocked in the first run of the game in the 3rd. The 1-1 is roped into right field, base hit. Troy will score. Diodati stretching to third. Long throw from Rushing, and the tag got him. Unbelievable from Dalton Rushing. Brannigan advances to second in the commotion.
Well, I don't know if Dalton Rushing heard us talking about how he wasn't an outfielder, but I think any questions about his ability to play a number of defensive positions were just answered with that throw. A rocket from right field all the way to third base, cut down Diodati by a mile, and it was on the money to get the first out of the inning.
Brannigan now the lone base runner at second. It's 3-0 Gatemen. 1 away in the 5th. The first pitch to Jimmy Crooks is a breaking ball that's cut on and missed. 4 straight hits for the Gatemen to start the 5th. And Brannigan, who's on second now, has 5 RBIs in his last 7 plate appearances. Crooks 0 for 2. The 0-1, a slider for a strike on the low inside corner. 0-2.
Rushing getting his first start as an outfielder. Makes that throw right there look easy. And not to put a damper on the Gatemen rally, who, as you said, Jack, have 4 consecutive hits. And right now showing no signs of slowing down.
The 0-2, a fastball that skips up into Garcia's chest pad. Did a good job to stay in front of the pitch. Brannigan holds at second. A ball and 2 strikes for Jimmy Crooks. 3-0 Gatemen in the top of the 5th. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Got him with the breaking ball. Turner's second strikeout.
Now batting, the third baseman from Mississippi State University.
Cameron James now coming up.
Cameron James.
Three 0 Gatemen. Brannigan on second, 2 away in the top of the 5th. Gatemen already have 2 runs in the inning and had another in the 3rd for the first run of the ball game. The first pitch to Cameron James is a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. That pitch, a breaking ball outside, 1-1. Couple defensive changes made in the inning for the Braves. Nick Goodwin down to third. And in left field, Hunter Jump. Zach Agnos out of the game. So both Eastern Carolina players for the Braves have exited. First, Josh Moylan, now Zach Agnos. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. A fastball that got by James.
Not a very convincing swing from Cameron James. Was all the way around before he realized he didn't really commit to that one at any point.
James 1 for 2 with a single in the second. The 1-2 chopped foul on the third baseline. Gatemen started off this inning with 4 straight hits. 2 runs have already come across, and they lead Bourne by 3. Have out-hit the Braves 12-1. Brannigan, the lone base runner, on second with 2 outs. Turner from the belt. The 1-2 to James. Grounded up the middle, taken by Knapczyk, throw to first, and that's past the bag. Brannigan's going to score 4-0 Gatemen. The throw brought Anderson to the left off of the bag, and he was unable to corral it as it got to the front of the Gatemen dugout, and a run comes across for Wareham.
Baseman from Mississippi State University, number 45, Kellum Clark.
Kellum Clark at the plate now. The left-handed hitter is 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the second. He also drew a walk in the fourth. Goes down as an E6 to Knapczyk, the first error of the game. First pitch to Clark, a breaking ball outside. Three runs now in the fifth for Wareham. The 1-0, a fastball low. 2-0. Pitch, another fastball outside. 3 balls, no strikes to Clark.
And I would imagine this is the end of the line for Turner should he walk Clark on this pitch, or actually walk Clark at all.
.30, fouled back. Currently very little activity in Bourne's bullpen. Three balls and a strike to Clark. The pitch, fouled back. Full count. Lights on at Doran Park. Beautiful light blue sky. The Gatemen have done well so far, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak and get their first win against Bourne in 2021. Bourne first place in the West. Payoff pitch, fouled back yet again. 3 straight foul-offs from Clark. Still a full count.
Clark came into this matchup hitting .204. 3 runs knocked in, still looking for his first Cape League home run.
Another payoff. Lined up the middle and down in center field. Cameron James puts on the brakes at second. Runners on first and second. 2 away in the top of the fifth. The rally continues. Now 5 hits on the inning. The Gatemen lead 4-0. 3 of their runs coming right here in the fifth.
Now batting, the right fielder from the Ohio State University, number 11, Cade Kern.
And the 9-hitter, Cade Kern, comes up. Righty-righty matchup. Kern 1 for 2 with a base hit in the second. Was a line drive to center field. And the first pitch to Kern is a slider for a strike. The 0-1, another slider low.
I like Kern laying off those first two pitches. When he's had his best games, it's when he's not jumped on pitches early in counts. Two sliders, recognized the spin early, didn't want the first one even though it was in the zone, and then laid off the second. Looking for a fastball here, I'm sure.
The 1-1, another slider low and away. 2-1.
Seeing all three of those pitches early out of the hand of Ken Turner. That's the key for Cade Kern, is recognizing what's an off-speed pitch as early as possible. And then understanding when he's ahead in the count, when he can jump on a fastball he can drive.
The 2-1 is lined up the middle, past Snapcheck's glove. Cameron James waved around third, and he scores. 4 runs now in the fifth, 5-0 Gatemen.
And that was the fastball. Cade Kern took 3 straight sliders and then waited for the fastball that caught too much of the plate. Got that pitch with a 2-1 count and drove it into center field to drive in another run for Wareham.
Clark replaces James on second. Kern replaces Clark on first. Tres Gonzalez heading to the plate. The 9th hitter of the inning, and Harvey Shapiro finally meandering his way to the mound to talk to Ken Turner.
Well, as you said earlier, Jack, the bullpen, not much of a sense of urgency earlier in the inning, and now things are starting to get heated out there. Shapiro with the long, slow walk to the mound, and he makes the call right away. Turner will come out, someone else will come in, and we'll get you updated on that after the break on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League would like to welcome our new sponsor, Mosquito Mary's, a locally owned, family-operated business that provides all-natural mosquito and tick control services. Call 866-ASK-MARY or go to mosquitomarys.com. Mention the Cape Cod Baseball League and get your first treatment for only $29.
Serving southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Office Technology Group has been the area's source for advanced digital multifunctional copiers since 2009. Call Office Technology Group at 508-858-5825.
What's up, Gatemen fans? Looking for Wareham jerseys, shirts, and hats? You can find all of that and more online at gatemen.org/shop. Visit to get all your Gatemen gear today.
Mosquito bites and ticks. No, yikes! When the bugs get scary, just call Mosquito Mary's. 866-ASK-MARY. Or visit us at mosquitomarys.com.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedoms. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Whether it's life insurance to safeguard your loved ones, an umbrella policy to protect your teen driver, or making sure your home is covered from storm damage, Rogers Gray is there to guide you. Insurance is more than just a box to check. Trust Rogers Gray.
5-0 Gatemen, runners on first and second, 2 outs in the top of the fifth. The Gatemen already have 4 runs in the inning, and the Bourne Braves finally make a pitching change. They go to the right-hander Josh Eknes out of Lamar.
Agnes, another nice season for Bourne. I feel like we say that over and over again, but this is the team that leads the league in ERA. 2.38 is the ERA for Agnes across 11 and a third. He's come mostly out of the bullpen this season for the Braves and comes on here to try and close out what has been a difficult inning for the Braves so far.
Delivered a ball to Tres Gonzalez to start, a fastball high and outside. Clark on second, Kern on first after his 16th RBI of the season on a line drive to center. That pitch missed low, 2-0 to Gonzalez. Tress is 1 for 3 with a base hit to lead off the game. Gatemen have out-hit Bourne 14-1 and lead 5-0 here in the fifth. The 2-0 poked foul. Gateman scored first in the third. It was an RBI single from Jack Brannigan. And have 4 runs here in the fifth. RBIs from Diodati and Brannigan, as well as Kern. The 2-1, a fastball low, 3-1. First batter for Eknes, the Gateman in this inning. 4 runs off of 6 hits and an error. The 3-1, a fastball inside. Ball 4, Gonzalez walks, and the bases are loaded.
Gatemen have now batted around in the inning. And Tres Gonzalez on board by way of the walk. That's his 15th walk of the season. And he walked quite a bit at Georgia Tech. Hit .279 this season, but a .422 on base percentage tells you that the difference between those two numbers, of course, meaning he's getting on base a lot, and it's not always with hits.
First pitch to Jarvis to the backstop. Clark scores easily. Kern advances to third, Gonzalez to second. It is 6-0 Gatemen in the fifth. .1-0 to Jim Jarvis. A wild pitch scores Kellum Clark. The 1-0. A fastball for a strike on the inside edge of the plate. Jarvis 3 for 3. All 3 infield singles. 2 of the hits are bunt singles. The 1-1 is laced out to left field. Backing up is Jump, and that is at the wall. A ground rule double. Actually hopped over the wall. 2 runs score for the Gatemen. Now their biggest run total in an inning this season. 7 runs in the fifth. 8-0 Wareham.
Now batting, the second baseman from Stanford, number 4.
Well, Jim Jarvis absolutely drilled that ball straight over the head of Hunter Jump and going the other way with it. The left-hander taking it out toward left field. That's a place we haven't seen him show off any power yet this year, but that ball was absolutely drilled.
His 7th double the season, and Jarvis now has 19 RBIs. First pitch to Tommy Troy is a breaking ball low. Troy 2 for 3 with a single in the third and a double in this inning. Now the 11th batter of the inning for the Gatemen. The 1-0 nearly hit Troy in the head. Jarvis advances to third. That ball bounced off the backstop and got all the way back to Eknes at the mound. That was a scary pitch as Troy barely got out of the way of a steaming fastball.
Well, right now there's no activity in the Bourne bullpen, but there needs to be some quickly because Eknes has absolutely no control. Came in walked Gonzalez. Now 2 wild pitches, the second of which a fastball that almost hit Tommy Troy in the head.
Now the 2-0 is a fastball way up and out. Gatemen with 7 runs in the 5th inning. Jarvis on third with 2 outs, 8-0 Gatemen advantage. Now their biggest scoring inning of the season. The 3-0, a fastball. There's a strike from Eknes. And the 3-1, a slider for a strike. Full count for Tommy Troy. Payoff pitch, fouled back. Full count for Tommy Troy. Can he continue to extend this 7-run inning? Payoff pitch, popped up and out of play on the right side. The Braves were almost out of it, Nick. Knapcheck had a grounder and missed the throw to first. And since then, another 4 runs have come across for the Gatemen. Another payoff, hammered to left field. That ball is back and way out of here. Tommy Troy's 3rd home run of the season, a no-doubter to left. The Gatemen have 9 runs in the 5th inning.
Keep the train moving, boys. 9 runs in the 5th, now 10-0 the lead for the Gatemen. And a bomb off the bat of Tommy Troy. Looked familiar, Jack, didn't it? On top of the batting cages here at Doran Park.
Cade Kern once hit a ball 434 feet out to left field. The last time these two teams met, that was 35 days ago.
It's become Gateman folklore by this point, but Tommy Troy giving him a run for his money.
Now Diodati has a line drive snagged out of the air by Max Anderson.
Only fitting that the inning ends on a hard hit ball.
Gatemen get 9 runs off of 8 hits and an error. 10-0 Wareham as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Holy smokes.
For their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin
We head to the bottom of the fifth on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Jack Sadighian, Nick Magas. If you missed the last half inning, the Gatemen scored 9 runs off of 8 hits and a Bourne error, and now lead 10-0. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Gatemen, Jack Noble, out of Long Beach State. Kirschipper, 4 scoreless innings, only gave up 1 hit and got out of a bases-loaded jam in the 4th. If there was any question if he was going to come on the 5th, then 9 runs ended it, as Hunter Jump fouls off the first pitch of the bottom of the 5th. Jump replacing Agnos in the order. He's in left field. Nick Goodwin moved down from left to third. The 0-1 to the left-handed hitter is a fastball low. Jump on the season, 1 for 8 at the plate. This is just his 3rd appearance. Had the start yesterday and got his first Cape League hit. That pitch skied into right field. Kern coming on and makes the catch for the first out.
Jack Noble in the game now for Wareham. The stuff has been good all season. He has 15 strikeouts in just 9 1/3 innings pitched. But the ERA has ballooned over the last couple outings. 2 earned runs in an inning and 2/3 against Harwich on July 23rd, and then against Brewster at home a few nights ago. 3 earned runs in 1 inning pitched. That was in a tough 5-3 loss.
First pitch to John Garcia is a changeup for a strike. Garcia struck out his first time up in the 3rd, but hopefully this could be a bounce-back outing for Noble in a very low-pressure situation. The 1-0, or 0-1, excuse me, a fastball for a strike. Now no balls and 2 strikes to Garcia. A game's worth of action in the 5th, Nick.
A lifetime's worth of action in the 5th.
I don't know about that. 0-2, called, strike 3, a fastball at the knees. Garcia, a couple of strikeouts tonight. And Christian Knapczyk, the leadoff man for the Braves, coming up. 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the 5th. 10-0 Gatemen after 9 runs in the top of the inning.
It is nice to see the Gatemen on the right side of a crooked number.
First pitch to Knapczyk is a slider low. Knapczyk 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Gatemen have out-hit the Braves 16-1. The first 8 hits, only 1 run came across, but the last inning, everything cashed in as that pitch misses low to make it 2-0 to Knapczyk. And an error for the Bourne Braves really hurt. After 3 runs came across, Knapczyk a throwing error to first. After that, 6 more runs for the Gatemen. That pitch grounded weakly to the left side. Jarvis has it up and throwing to first for the 3rd out. 10-0 Gatemen through 5 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Located on the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Discover Keystone Place, the best option in Cape Cod.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss,
10-0 Gatemen. We enter the top of the 6th. Jack Sadighian, Nick Magas. And some bad news to start the inning. The Gatemen officially
We're gonna dampen the mood right now? It is our duty to keep the fans up to date. You're right.
Wait for the pitch. Eknes, who got the last out of the 5th, starts Brannigan off with the slider for a strike. The Gatemen officially eliminated from playoff contention, Nick. Kettleers beat Falmouth 12-9. That went final a few moments ago, as Brannigan fouls that pitch back to make it 0-2.
Oh, the irony. Gatemen in the middle of a 9-run 5th inning while they're officially eliminated from playoff contention.
But playing well today.
Oh, yes. Just a little bit too little too late.
That pitch grounded hard up the middle. Knapczyk has it, throw to first, and a nice pick by Anderson for the first out of the 6th.
Well, it's about time Brannigan didn't get a hit. That was pretty darn close, but Knapczyk up the middle, got a glove on it behind the second base bag, and a nice play, good pickup on the back end. Keeps Brannigan away from his what would have been his 3rd hit of the game.
10-0. 1 out, nobody on the top of the 6th. First pitch to Jimmy Crooks is a fastball in the dirt, ball 1. Tough news for the Gatemen, Nick, but still a chance to close the season out on a positive note. And a win today would be big as Crooks fans threw that pitch to make it 1-1, because you get your first win against the Braves and snap a 4-game losing streak.
Meanwhile, Bourne, who has had that playoff spot locked up for a little while as that pitch misses to Jimmy Crooks, is in a tough spot because it's no secret that they're not playing their best baseball as of late. And when you talk about going into the postseason, it is not the best team that wins. It is the hottest team that wins. And right now, the Braves, as good as their record is, are anything but hot.
That pitch missed upstairs. 3-1 now to Crooks. Here's the pitch, and it is lifted to center field. Coming on is Thomas, shuffles for a moment, and now steps forward to make the catch. 2 away, nobody on, and the top of the 6th for Cameron James. 10-0 Gatemen.
The third baseman from Mississippi State University.
Assuming the Gatemen can put away what is a 10-run lead in the 6th inning, the Braves will have lost 5 of their last 7 games, and when Major League teams talk about playing their best baseball late September going into October, in the Cape League, that's not the case for Bourne right now. Katuitt, meanwhile, heating up, and they look like they'll be the team taking on Bourne in that first round. So for those 2 teams, I mean, as good as Bourne's record is, Katuitt just at 500, just improved to over 500 today. I mean, it could very well be an upset in that first 3-game series.
2-0 to James. That pitch hit him. A 2-out hit batter. James took the pitch square to the back.
Well, that's the second time now the fastball's gotten away from Eknes. It's no shock to see wild pitches sometimes on breaking balls. Sometimes a breaking ball escapes and hits a batter. But he almost hit Tommy Troy in the head with a fastball and now puts one right in the middle of the back of Cameron James. And that is just a sign of a pitcher who doesn't have it. Generally the pitch that arms on the mound can locate the best, and Josh Eknes is having some issues with that right now.
Kellum Clark to the plate. He's 1 for 2, has also drawn a walk today. 10-0 Gatemen, 2 away in the top of the 6th. First pitch to Clark is upstairs for ball 1. But Bourne is cooling off, and Katuitt hot as ever. Beat Falmouth both times in a huge 2-game series as that pitch misses inside to make it 2-0 to Clark. Katuitt's now won 5 in a row.
With what we could only call replacement players, really. They've had the most roster turnover over the course of this season. They lost guys to the draft. They lost guys to Team USA. And when we saw them a couple weeks ago, they had a completely different lineup than what they were sporting at the beginning of the season.
40 runs in the last 3 games for the Kettleers. That pitch cut on and missed. 2-1 to Clark. And seemingly the spark for them was a 7-run 8th inning against the Gatemen. Since then, have been on a tear offensively. The 2-1 to Clark, a high fastball that swung on and missed. Two outs, James on first. 10-0 in the top of the sixth. Gatemen with 9 runs in the fifth inning. 2-2, swung on and missed. Clark goes down on strikes. Gatemen leave one on. 10-0 Wareham. You're listening to the Gatemen Baseball Network.
After the game, visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
$10-0 game. We enter the bottom of the sixth. Jack Sadighian, Nick Magas. Schobel, Rushing, and Huber due up for the Braves. Gatemen a run in the third, 9 runs in the fifth. Their highest run total in a single inning this season. Jack Noble on the mound for his second inning of work. His first pitch to Schobel, a fastball misses inside. Some news in the SEC, Nick. Teclis in Oklahoma unanimously voted to accept their invitations to the SEC this weekend as that pitch is skied up into shallow center. Tommy Troy calls Jarvis off and makes the catch.
So continuing the conversation from earlier, that would affect a number of players on the field, including Jimmy Crooks.
Well, this wouldn't take into effect until 2025.
Yeah, that is true, but just talking about Jake Bennett, especially Jimmy Crooks, that's how we got into the discussion. A couple guys from Oklahoma on the field. And then Christian Rubeck, who recently announced he's transferring to Kansas State, another school potentially on the move. They're not part of that particular deal, but could this potentially be the end of the Big 12?
First pitch to Rushing is a strike. Fastball down the middle. It seems like it to me. And Texas and Oklahoma say they're going to honor their agreements and stay through 2025. We'll see if that actually happens as Rushing cuts through a breaking ball for strike 2.
I think the big thing is that those two schools are moving together, because the one thing I was worried about breaking up was that Red River rivalry when Texas was originally in talks with the SEC. I thought they were going to leave Oklahoma behind, and that's a game and that's a rivalry that means a lot to the Big 12.
Rushing hammers a pitch up the middle, but it's right at Tres Gonzalez. 2 away now in the bottom of the sixth. 10-0 Gatemen. Nobody on base for the DH, Benjamin Huber.
So for you, Jack.
I think the biggest thing about the two of them moving over, Nick, before you ask me whatever you're going to ask me, is the fact that other conferences now see the SEC making a super conference and feel like the rest of the pieces of the Big 12 are up for grabs, and they need to make a move to get some of those teams.
What defines a super conference, though? Because the ACC, I believe, already has 14.
Well, if you have 14 teams and 10 of them are in big markets and 6 to 8 of them are a top 20 football program every season, I think that defines a super conference.
But
1-1 to Huber.
But then there's only going to be one, because you can't have every conference with top 20 football schools, filled with top 20 football schools.
Well, I agree with that, but I guess what I'm
Just
saying
the
is there's
SEC
going to be a smaller number of conferences.
The SEC versus everybody. I guess that's already what
And
it
it's
is.
already
so.
it's already been that way. SEC is almost already a super conference. This just strengthens it.
Harrison Eaton with the big thumbs down from my right. He's a Buckeye fan, but as a Big Ten guy myself, I just know. I mean, the fact of the matter is the Big Ten doesn't compete, at least from a football standpoint.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Huber. 2 outs. Noble misses on a changeup. Full count.
So
10-0 Gatemen in the bottom of the 6th.
For you, as a fan of the SEC, a fan of an SEC school, do you want Texas and Oklahoma?
I don't. It makes what's already a difficult conference to get through even tougher. Payoff pitch. Foul tipped into Crooks' mitt for strike 3. We'll have to continue the conversation in the 7th. Gatemen up 10-0 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for over 30 years, and we're honored to support the Cape Cod Baseball League and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
Cape Cod Healthcare offers a comprehensive array of medical services delivered by top-notch teams of healthcare providers. Their physicians provide the best evidence-based and proven medicine at their state-of-the-art facilities. If you need them, they'll be there.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty...
Top 7 on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Pinch hitter in for the Gatemen. It's Daniel Perrin Jr.
His first appearance, of the summer, Nick.
He pinch ran last night. He took over at first base in the 9th inning, but this is his first plate appearance of the Cape League season.
You're right. Yes. I stand corrected. I forgot about that yesterday.
Perrin out of UMass Dartmouth, one of a couple late additions to the Gatemen roster. Michael Nell, who got the start last night, and then Perrin now out of Dartmouth as well. Faces a 2-1 count to Josh Eknes and fouls the pitch back out of play. Count goes 2-2. Gatemen lead this one 10-0 over the Bourne Braves. I didn't know if we'd win or lose coming into this game, but I was pretty darn sure we weren't going to have to say that at any point. As a breaking ball misses downstairs to Perrin.
And a team that has struggled offensively against Bourne so far this season.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Eknes gets the fastball by Perrin. And that's the first out of the top of the 7th. So we'll throw it back to the conversation we were having before the break. You don't want Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC, at least from a fan perspective. Why?
I think it just makes life more difficult for Georgia than it already is. From a football and basketball standpoint, the SEC is a tough enough, and a baseball standpoint, the SEC is a tough enough conference already. If you add 2 more superpowers to that, it's even more difficult for a school like Georgia to come out of that conference and have success. Now, that's a complete fan perspective. I think for the conference as a whole, there's arguments for both sides as to whether or not it's beneficial. The biggest argument is the SEC makes a lot more money with those 2 teams in, and that's usually what drives decision-making.
And then for football, as Gonzalez now at the plate fouls a pitch off, count goes 2-1. For football, the college football playoff picture is already incredibly arbitrary. That makes that situation even messier than it already is, because now I bet you're going to see 2 3-loss teams from the SEC heavily considered over some undefeated teams even from other conferences.
Well, the hope is by 2025 you've expanded the playoff to 8 teams when that merger happens in the SEC.
Either way, you're still going to have the same issue of who's in and who's out, and there's going to be teams on the bubble who are upset about it. And that's always the case, whether it's teams number 5 and 6 like it is now who aren't getting in, or teams 9 and 10. You're still running that same arbitrary decision-making process, and I think this makes it even messier when you start to make a conference that much more competitive. Gonzalez with a 3-2 count, and he takes a fastball for ball 4.
You're right about that. It could be easier with 8 teams, though, because you could create some automatic qualifying bids or stipulate, hey, we're going to let in one group of 5 team, certain number of each conference champion could potentially get in, and then you have at-large bids. But by that point, who knows what the conference picture looks like.
Jim Jarvis, now the batter, takes a pitch, takes a ball. Gonzalez at first base, 1 out. 10-0 lead for the Gatemen.
How about Jarvis today? 4 for 4 with 2 RBIs, 3 infield singles, and then a ball that was ripped the opposite way to left for a ground rule double.
Scored 2 of the Gatemen's 10 runs as well. Ackness coming with a healthy dose of fastballs. Got one in the zone past Jarvis, so the count is 1-1. Ackness from the stretch, short leg kick with a runner on, and that's drilled to right field. Drifting back is Rushing, and he makes the catch. Rushing didn't have to go very far, but once again, Jim Jarvis putting a charge in a baseball.
And that had a chance. If he hit it down the line and right, in this weird right field corner at Bourne, it might have gotten out. It's 300 straight to the pole and right, and then it, on a sharp angle, gets right to 360.
Well, look familiar? We're in Red Sox country. Doran Park with a pesky pole of its own. 300, and then like you said, it shoots straight out just about 30 feet from the line.
Right.
It's about 60 feet deeper as you get 30 feet toward the field of play. Tommy Troy, the batter, checks swing, and a pickoff throw to first base from the catcher. Garcia is not in time. The breeze has died down here at Doran Park. The lights are on. As it is almost completely dark. Good turnout of fans here, but understandably so. It has thinned out quite a bit since the 5th inning. The Gatemen put up 9 in that 5th.
Tommy Troy's another guy that's had a big day. 3 for 4 with a 2-run homer in the 5th. It was an absolute missile to left field. 102-mile-per-hour exit velocity, 400-foot home run for Tommy Troy.
Ackness gets a fastball over the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Gonzalez with a short lead on first. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball stays upstairs. That pitch fouled off. The count 3-2. Tommy Troy staying alive. Gatemen about hit Bourne 16-1. Largely thanks to, obviously, the Gatemen bats, but also Quay sends a high drive out to left field. Hunter jumps, settling under it, and he has it on the track for out number 3. Tommy Troy gave another ball a chance, but not quite deep enough to leave the yard. Still 10-0 as we head to the stretch.
Whether you are recently retired or still working, Fairway Financial can help you create clearly defined retirement income strategies to help protect your wealth, create guaranteed income for life, and provide a legacy for your family. We are committed to earning your trust by thoroughly understanding your goals and dreams and helping you gain greater financial confidence. To learn more, visit Fairway Financial in South Yarmouth or go to fairwayfinancial.net.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including fifth-year master's programs at www.curry.edu. The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship. Franklin is proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. This summer, all 10 teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From the Cape to the majors, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin.
Thomas.
Back here on the Gatemen Baseball Network for the bottom of the 7th. Jack Sadighian here with me. I'm Nick Magas as we get set to play the rest of this ballgame. A 10-0 lead for the Gatemen. And that, once again, is not something that either one of us expected coming into this game. The Gatemen 0-4 against the Braves this season. This is only the second game here at Doran Park. And the batter now, Colby Thomas, checks his swing, takes a strike from Jack Noble.
And in those 4 games, a combined 9 runs for the Gatemen, but 10 tonight.
They matched,
9 in the 5th.
They matched that total in the 5th inning alone as Thomas takes a pitch outside.
And you love to see it. This team may be eliminated from the playoffs, but still a chance to play some baseball, and this is the Cape Cod Baseball League, Nick. You're the best competition in the country for a summer collegiate league.
A chance for us and hopefully the players to just take it all in as we work our way into the final stretch of the season. Gatemen will be back at Spillane Field tomorrow night. They'll take on Falmouth. 2 games set with Falmouth coming up. 1 at our place, 1 at their place as Thomas rips a ball down the left field line. That will go all the way to the wall. Diodati chases it down. Thomas coasts into second base with a leadoff double. And with just 2 home games left, it's starting to seem less and less likely that we'll get to see Kyle Schwarber in Wareham at any point this year.
Got traded over from the Nationals, and our first thought was, oh, maybe he'll swing by Spillane Field.
And that's not a ridiculous thought.
No.
Schwarber played for the Gatemen in 2012. He's been back since, and our team president, Tom Gay, texted him after he was traded just to congratulate him, and he makes it a point every time he comes on a road trip to Boston to come visit Spillane Field. But I think the focus might be in a different place for him, and rightfully so, especially with Boston in the heat of a playoff race in his first few days with a new team.
Right. That's a big adjustment. He's coming up the East Coast. It has to adjust to a new team that is battling to win their division and almost certainly will at least be in the wild card.
Tampa is hot on their heels, but as of right now, as that pitch is popped back behind the plate and foul off the bat of Nick Goodwin. But as of now, and for the entire season now, really Boston has held control of that division. Schwarber moving from a team moving in the wrong direction in the Washington Nationals to a team moving in the right direction. And that's, a common theme around baseball at the trade deadline. I think this one was a little bit wilder than most. I think we saw a lot of moves and a lot bigger moves than you'd normally see at a deadline. But Schwarber, one of the marquee players, moving to a new team and hopefully bolstering a already very good Red Sox offense going into September and October.
And his June was absolutely ridiculous. 16 home runs.
And he was a massive piece in Wareham's championship in 2012. He hit 2 home runs, Nick, in the 9th and 10th inning of the championship Game 3 against YD. That helped lift the Gatemen to an extra inning victory. They were down, I believe, 3 runs entering that final inning.
Mike Monaco tweeted after Schwarber came over as that pitch gets inside on Nick Goodwin, catches him in the arm. Now 2 runners aboard for the Braves. Monaco tweeted in 2013, Schwarber actually played with Team USA, much like some of our very own Gatemen, and less than 24 hours after that season wrapped up, he shows up to the Cape League and honors his word, comes to play for the Gatemen like he committed to do before the summer, before he was invited to Team USA, and even with the season wrapping up like it is now, he comes to the worst team in the league, comes back, his first game goes 4 for 4, it's a game-tying home run in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that was right after the 2012 season. The Gatemen went from first to worst. But Kyle Schwarber was one of the bright spots of that team in 2013.
And has been very good coming back to visit the Gatemen a number of times since then. He joins another Gateman, Matt Barnes, on that Red Sox team.
Brandon Workman, but he's had some recent
Was Workman
stuff
just
going
cut,
on.
I believe?
Yeah.
He was. So he was sent down, designated for assignment, but I think there was a point in time this season where there were 4 Gatemen on the Red Sox alone. As the breaking ball misses outside to the batter Max Anderson out of Nebraska. 2 on, nobody out for the Braves. 10-0 lead for Wareham.
When people say the CCBL is the best path to the majors, they are not lying. 23% of the guys drafted this year played in the Cape Cod League.
And we were just talking about Gatemen. You're absolutely right, Jack. Cape Cod Leaguers all around are contributing to championship teams. George Springer from the Gatemen trying to do the same thing, maybe make a playoff push in his first year with Toronto.
Max Muncy, a former Gateman.
Doing big things for the Dodgers, exactly. Couple Gatemen with the Chicago White Sox, the first-place team in the AL Central, in Andrew Vaughn and Gavin Sheets. Casey Mize, a former Gateman as well, a former first-round pick of the Detroit Tigers, where he's putting together a big year. Detroit obviously not doing quite as much from a team standpoint, but the resumes, the alumni, impressive from all over this league. And that's the most exciting part about watching these games. And when you talk about Wareham out of the playoff race, that really is that ball's absolutely drilled right on cue. Max Anderson with a shot to left field. Cuts the deficit to 7. A 3-run home run as he touches them all. Gets the fans chopping a little bit here at Doran Park, the first 3 runs of the ball game for the Bravos.
Well, Max Anderson's only hit 1 home run this season, but smoked that one to left field. Coming from Nebraska, he's arguably the best player on that team, Nick.
Big Ten Freshman of the Year this season.
And he is due for a lot more in his college career. Has shown off some of that stuff on the Cape so far this summer.
3rd hit of the game for the Braves. Now a 10-3 lead for Wareham in a mound conference between Carl Alejo, Jimmy Crooks, and the pitcher Jack Noble, who's yet to record an out in the bottom of the 7th.
That's tough for Noble because he's able to get through 2 innings cleanly. but finally gives up a 3-run homer in the 7th, and you were hoping after 2 bad outings that he was going to have a scoreless outing tonight.
That will not be the case.
He'll stay in the game, though, with plenty of runs to work with, and Hunter Jump coming to bat for the Braves. As I was saying right before the home run, that's with the Gatemen out of the playoff race. That's still the most fun part and always has been and always will be the best part of the Cape Cod League. Is you get to look at all these guys out here, some of them playing well, some of them playing not so well, but you still have no idea who's going to be contributing at the next level. On the field in a given day, it seems like the majority of guys will be drafted. They'll have a chance to play minor league baseball. A healthy percentage of them, at least a much healthier percentage than in other leagues, will have the chance to play in the majors. And some guys come out here and tear it up, some guys don't. But, you know, it doesn't really matter in many ways because there's so much talent all over the place. And so many of these guys have such bright futures. Hunter Jump now the batter, a 1-2 count on him. Jack Noble, a wide set working out of the windup. Nobody aboard, nobody out. And gets a strike by him. A called strike 3. Fastball dotted on the lower part of the zone.
Well, that's big for Noble. Comes back after giving up the 3-run homer, strikes out Jump.
John Garcia.
His 3rd strikeout, and it was a well-placed fastball that finished off Hunter Jump.
First pitch to John Garcia in the dirt. All right, Jack. Opinion question for you, and there's so many right answers, so I don't feel bad asking you this.
Okay.
Who do you think has the biggest amount of potential on this Gatemen team right now? And before you answer, we'll clarify that there are so many guys that really do. That's driven into center field. Tres Gonzalez coming on, makes a shoestring grab for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, Nick. And it's tough to answer.
So many
just
guys.
the most potential, or the highest chance to make
We'll go with the highest ceiling.
I think the highest ceiling is Tommy Troy because he's such a smooth player and he can grow in a lot of aspects to the game when he's already really good. We might have to continue this in the next inning.
Knapchick tries to lay down a bunt. It's fielded by Noble, throws to first, and that's out number 3. Good job by Noble coming back, getting the next 3 batters after the 3-1 homer from Max Anderson made it a 10-3 lead for Wareham. They come to bat in the 8th. We'll be back on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Top of the 8th. Diodati, Brannigan, and Crooks will lead it off for the Gatemen. First 3 runs of the ball game for the Braves came in the bottom of the 7th. A 3-run bomb from Max Anderson. Cut the deficit, but hopefully still plenty of cushion for the Gatemen to work with just 2 innings of baseball left to play here at Doran Park. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Gatemen Baseball Network. And a new arm on the mound for the Braves, the left-hander out of Riverside, New Jersey, Frank Doling.
Yeah, plays for Rider University, left-hander. 2.7 ERA and 3 1/3. And he struck out 3 batters.
Now batting, the left fielder from the
Just a light workload so far on the Cape League after he joined the Braves later in the season. Lefty-lefty matchup will come first with Owen Diodati at the dish. So let's talk some more about Tommy Troy.
Yeah, so you asked me last inning who I thought had the highest ceiling out of anybody for Wareham. And while I think there are a lot of good and right answers, Tommy Troy really sticks out. Just a tremendously good athlete, Nick. He's so smooth, can play either middle infield spot, I think second or short. He's fast. He can hit all different kinds of pitches. Excuse me. And he has a great combination of the ability to hit for average as well as power, which is something that is hard to do. A lot of times you see guys that are either one or the other, and guys that struggle with certain kind of pitches. And while Tommy Troy has pitches that he favors, he can hit any pitch, and he can hit it to all parts of the ballpark, which you were mentioning to me in between innings when we were talking about it. But I think as an athlete, his ceiling is just through the roof. And as he continues to learn and grow in the game, he'll just get better and better. And he already has a pretty high draft stock coming into the CCBL this summer.
That one's popped up off the bat of Diodati, moving to the third base side and out of play. That's an interesting thing that you mentioned about Troy, though. I think scouts already loved him coming off of a very good college season.
Yes.
At a very big-time baseball school and a big-time baseball conference. I think a guy like Jim Jarvis, for example, has seen his draft stock grow the most because he played well at Alabama but has really burst onto the scene here, playing a very, very good shortstop. I think both of those guys have high ceilings, but kind of profiling in different ways coming into the league as Diodati pops one out to left field. Hunter Jump coming on toward the line in foul territory on the track and makes the grab.
Yeah, Diodati's another guy that we haven't even brought up. Had the hottest start of the season. He's struggled down the stretch, although he's had a good night tonight, 2 for 5 with an RBI.
I think if Diodati starts catching consistently, which we haven't seen him do in Wareham at all.
Well, we had scouts asking us early in the season about his catching.
And I think, that makes, assuming you can be a good defensive catcher, which is the most important part about catching at the next level is the defensive aspect of it. But if Diodati can swing a bat like he's capable of swinging a bat,
right,
and pair that with being a slightly above average defensive catcher, which we already know he's athletic. He's made a number of really good, tremendous catches in left field. He's got a good arm. He's got the physical attributes as well as a high school catching background. Could make him profile really well at that position in the future. Brannigan now at bat, fouls off the second pitch he sees, count even at 1 with 1 out, nobody on.
Brannigan's another guy that I think is similar to Tommy Troy. A good combination of power as well as average in his arsenal.
And we've seen him on the mound, too, and scouts have mentioned him as a potential pitching prospect as well. He hasn't seen that many outings, hasn't had that large a body of work in the Cape League as a pitcher, but up to 97 miles per hour on the mound.
Right.
He's flashed some of the highest spin rates on both the fastball and the breaking ball.
We haven't even really dove into some of the pitchers for the Gatemen either.
Well, we've seen so many over the course of the year.
Right.
A couple have already gotten drafted between Ian Villers, Larson Kindreich, who were both
Richard
fantastic.
Fitz.
Fitz was really good. Some of those guys already moving on.
Swanson
was great. And then in the second half of the season, Major doing great things. Kirschiper as well, as Brannigan sends one sky high on the right side. Anderson tracking it over toward the wall and he makes the catch just beyond the Gateman dugout on the first base side. Jimmy Crooks now the batter, 2 outs, nobody on. The third batter faced by Frank Doling.
One last note about Brannigan. Whether he pursues the pitching or positional spots, just a tremendous competitor, and that's something that I don't think scouts necessarily know about Jack Brannigan. I mean, he is unbelievable. The fire he plays with, I think it adds so much to his game. That's some stuff that doesn't come up on the stat sheet.
But that's the kind of thing that you come out here to look for.
Right.
As Crooks cuts through a pitch. I mean,
And it sounds,
and you can only get that from a game situation. So much of baseball comes down to, it seems at least like it comes down to the exit velocities and the spin rates and the velos off the mound. But the type of fire that Brannigan plays with is not something you can get from a stat sheet. It's not something you can get without watching him in person and watching him play against competition at the highest level.
And it sounds so cheesy because you're like, oh, he's a competitor. But it adds so much to your game because it adds energy to the dugout when you make big plays. You know in a big moment they're going to rise to the moment and play their best baseball when it's needed, which we saw from him in the NCAA tournament this year.
Crooks fouls off a 2-1 pitch, count even at 2. Frank Doling trying to battle through a 1-2-3 inning after inducing pop-outs to Diodati and Brannigan.
And another thing you know when somebody's competitive is you know that when you get in the dog days of a season that they're going to keep giving it their all, day in and day out. And that's something that you'd be surprised. You don't always see out on the Cape. Guys get worn down. They're coming off 60-game seasons. Some of these guys play deep in the tournament, and they run out of gas.
Jimmy Crooks sends a soft line drive to center field. That drops in for a base hit. Crooks has his first hit of the evening. And that's important for any athlete playing at any level, whether it's an individual sport or a team sport. But in baseball especially, it's more of a mental game than I would say just about any other sport. And when you combine the mental aspect of baseball with the length of the season, playing at least 100 games at the minor league level, obviously 162 games in the majors. I mean, having a guy who can battle through days when, either the team's not playing well, either he personally is not playing well, or just not feeling his best. Having any player like that with that mentality who can get the dugout going, who can bring more than just their best to the field every day, but bring out the best in their teammates is as valuable as any other attribute in a baseball player especially. Cameron James now the batter. Crooks on first base with 2 outs.
Well, and that's something that translates to any sport. Aaron Rodgers was talking about in his press conference that was really controversial when he talked about wanting to have a say in players that were coming back. He said he thought the Packers were undervaluing the competitive aspect that certain players brought to the table and their veteran leadership, things they knew, having chemistry with their teammates, all those kind of things factor in. And Rodgers' argument was even though some of those guys didn't have the best statistical lines after they left Green Bay, that their leadership and their competitiveness was missed for the Packers.
2-1 to James. That's popped up. It'll stay on the infield. Coming on is Anderson. He has it in foul territory. And there is out number 3 in the inning. Frank Doling gives up a hit but retires the side by way of 3 pop-outs. We'll go to the middle of the 8th inning. Stay with us here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Virginia Tech, number 27, Tanner.
Bottom 8 on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Nick Magas here with you once again with Jack Sadighian. It's been a fun season, Jack. We've had a lot of fun on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
It's not done yet.
We're not done yet. This is my second to last call, though, and I'm starting to get in the feels about it. Nice to see the Gatemen coming here and absolutely dominating Bourne, though. They needed a win over this team, and although they've been eliminated from playoff contention tonight, doesn't make the offense showing out the way it did and the pitching showing out the way they did any less sweet, as they lead it 10-3. First batter in the inning.
Close to getting all the playoff teams locked up, Nick. Harwich up against Brewster in the 9th. If they hold on to this 5-run lead, they will secure their spot in the playoffs. It'll be Brewster and Harwich in the East.
Called strike 3 on Tanner Schobel. Kevin Acey now in the ballgame for the Gatemen. Got a slider to lock up Schobel for out number 1.
Yeah, Casey, or AC, excuse me.
Yeah, you can call him Casey. Kevin Acey, just shipped the two names.
AC, 7.04 ERA in 6 appearances, only 7 2/3. So if he has a couple good outings to close the season, that number can drop significantly. 8 strikeouts.
We've talked about the Gatemen with potential. How about this guy now? Dalton Rushing in the left-hand batter's box. 0 for 2 tonight with a walk, but he has been dominant not just against the Gatemen, but throughout the Cape League this season.
I think he projects best as a catcher, too, because with how well he hits the ball and how well he's played behind the plate so far this summer, that is a combo that major league clubs are looking for.
He needs a full season of work behind the plate before we can say that for sure, but I agree with that, at least from what we've seen so far, as a breaking ball from AC grazes the inside of his jersey. He's put on first base. Barely looked like a hit by pitch. Rushing clearly didn't want it. He wants to swing the bat, but he'll have to take first.
Number 30,
He's so upset heading down to first.
Why would you? It's 10-3. Man on first is really not exactly what you need right now, or it's a lot less than what you really need. Rushing wants a chance to swing the bat, and I don't blame him. But backing up Henry Davis this entire year at Louisville, great that he got to work behind the best, but just means that he doesn't have a lot of innings under his belt, at least at the college level.
And this will be big for him this upcoming season.
Henry Davis, of course, the first overall pick in the MLB draft this year. Should be up with the Pittsburgh Pirates before you know it. 2-0 count now on Ben Huber, the cleanup hitter tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk. Gatemen out hitting the Braves 17-3. It's a 10-3 game as that pitch misses outside. And the one thing you can't start doing in this situation, for as nice as the lead feels for the time being, is start walking batters. Rushing hit by a pitch a moment ago, and now Huber with a 3-0 count. AC finds the zone with a fastball.
Yeah, AC's job really with the 7-run lead is to just pump the zone with as many strikes as he can and get outs.
Huber played in just one game before tonight. That was last night with the Braves. As a slider finds the outer third. 3-2 now on Huber, who was 2 for 5 last night. Now a seasoned vet in the Cape League, I guess. Righty-righty matchup here. AC sets at the waistline, and the pitch is called strike 3.
2 straight sliders for strike 2 and 3, Nick. That's confident. A 3-1 count, and he comes with 2 perfect sliders to the outside edge of the plate. Well done by AC.
Not to mention bringing it back from a 3-0 count.
Right.
2 pretty breaking balls. Gets AC out number 2. Rushing still on first base, and Colby Thomas now the batter.
It took a strike on, guess what, a slider, and it looks like Crooks' glove is messed up. I'm not sure what it was. I think a string popped out.
Yeah, he did lose a string. He'll go to the dugout and get a new one. There's plenty in the Gatemen dugout. Of course, all baseball players very protective and infatuated with the mitts that they have.
It's a strong word.
They are. It's a weird relationship. That's not strong enough, really. Especially for catchers. Their mitts are like their babies. They take good care of them. They work very hard to break them in a specific way. That pitch is popped foul on the first base side. Some players so superstitious that they won't even let anyone else put their hand in their glove. AC now battling 0-2 count on Colby Thomas. That one's grounded to the shortstop. Jarvis up with it. An underhand pitch to Tommy Troy, and that retires the side. We go to the ninth. Gatemen lead 10-3.
(10-3) lead as we enter the top of the ninth. The Gatemen looking to get their first win against Bourne this summer, and they are in great position to do so. Jack Stegan alongside Nick Magas, a chance to add some insurance with Clark, Perron, and Gonzalez coming up in the ninth. Frank Doling, the left-hander out of Ryder on the mound. First pitch to Clark is a fastball for a strike at the knees. Clark 1 for 3 with a base hit in a run in the fifth. He also walked in the fourth. It's been a good day all around for Wareham. 0-1, fouled back. Out of their 10 runs, 9 in the fifth. 12 batters came up in the inning. 8 hits for the Gatemen in that fifth inning. Their other run was in the third. Brannigan knocked in Tommy Troy with an RBI single. The 0-2, a fastball low, 1-2.
8 hits in that inning. They have 17, which means they have what? They had 1 run on 8 hits to that point.
Right.
They've had one since that fifth inning, but it, for a while, was looking like the story of the day is Clark is rung up on an inside slider. That was the story of the season for the Gatemen, I should say. Bad base running in the early part of the game, not driving in runners who get on base, and 1 run on 8 hits was not the way they wanted to start it before that explosion in the fifth.
The Braves loaned 3 runs, a 3-run homer by Max Anderson to left field in the 7th. Daniel Perron Jr. at the plate now. First pitch to him is a curveball that misses upstairs. 1-0. Perron's first Cape League at bat. He struck out. See if he can bounce back here. The 1-0. A fastball low. 2 balls, no strikes. Harwich officially defeating Brewster 11-7. And they are in the playoffs. It'll be Brewster and Harwich out of the East. The 2-0 to Perron, a slider inside, 3-0.
Brewster has got the 1 seed locked up as well, so they'll have home field advantage.
Fastball for a strike. 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 9th. 10-3 Gatemen. And Katuitt defeating Falmouth. They have the inside track after 2 straight wins against the Commodores to second in the West. The 3-1, a fastball for a strike at the knees. Full count. Payoff pitch, fouled back. So most likely what you will see is Brewster hosting Harwich for the East Finals and Bourne hosting Katuitt. Of course, still a few games to play. That could change, but that is the most likely scenario for the East and West Finals. Payoff pitch to Perron. Fouled back again. 10-3 Gatemen in the 9th. Here's another payoff. Lifted, foul territory, right field, rushing coming over, and that will get out of play. Full count for Daniel Perron Jr. Here's the pitch, grounder left side. Knapcheck has it, the throw to first is in time. Hopefully Perron will have another chance to get a Cape League hit, Nick.
It sounds like his whole family out here.
Yes.
Getting his first Cape League action, and you're right, Jack. I hope he gets another shot. I'm glad that pitch wasn't called a ball wasn't called a ball, the one that he took 3-1, because I did want to have him have a chance to swing the bat. As nice as it would be to get on base, a walk's not what you'd remember. And
right.
It was good to see him get a chance to swing away 3-2, and seeing his first Cape League action with just about everybody in the stands, it sounds like. Good way to start it for Daniel Perron Jr.
Gonzalez takes a slider away. 1-0 to Tress. Two outs, nobody on in the top of the 9th. 10-3 Wareham. Here's the pitch. Laced up the middle. Thomas ranges to his right, settles, makes the catch. Line out for Gonzalez to center, retires the side. Gatemen up 7. Looking to close things out when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
10-3 Gatemen as we enter the bottom of the ninth. They've out-hit the Braves 17-3 and look en route to get their first win against Bourne in 2021 and snap a 4-game losing streak. In to close things out, Devereaux Harrison, the second Long Beach State pitcher we've seen for the Gatemen tonight, Nick.
Well, Devereaux's back. We saw him at the plate since he came home from Team USA. But for the Gatemen, 3 outings, all of them came before that stint with the collegiate national team. One on June 20th, one on June 25th, and one on June 28th. The numbers for Devereaux were not what he would like, just 2 2/3 innings of work, allowed a couple earned runs across those innings, but one of the highest ceiling pitching prospects with the Gatemen. He's the best that they have at Long Beach State, and he's back on the mound here to try and close things out.
And he'll start off against a pinch hitter, Lucas Costello.
Saw Costello for a couple at-bats last night before he was pinch hit for.
First pitch to him, popped up and out of play. Costello out of Wake Forest, where he's a starting center fielder and leadoff hitter. Well, Nick, the season winding down. Just 3 games left after this. The Gatemen will, as that pitch misses upstairs to make it 1-1 to Costello, they will have a home and home against Falmouth as the 1-1's outside, 2-1. And a home game against Hyannis, and then that'll be it for 2021. You've seen all the away ballparks, Nick. You've gotten to see all the different atmospheres. What's your favorite away ballpark that you've seen in Cape Cod this summer?
Well, I'm glad you asked away ballpark, because first of all, there's no place like home.
Absolutely.
Wareham with a nice home field, and probably, actually for sure, the best broadcast setup, both for the home broadcasters and the away guys as well. So we're happy clams over there in Wareham, even though it's on the quote-unquote wrong side of the bridge, as everybody here in the Cape will say.
Now batting, the first
We love it, and making that trip over the bridge is for away games is well worth it to be at home in Wareham. In terms of away ballparks, probably Chatham is the best.
Costello walked. He's on first. First pitch to Anderson is a breaking ball for a strike. Well, now you have to say why.
Well, you had to talk about the pitch,
no,
so I will.
I'm just...
Chatham is...
Just opening the door for you.
Thank you.
That pitch, a fastball inside, 1-1 to Anderson. 10-3 Gatemen in the bottom of the ninth.
I know Chatham's not a hot take, but when you talk about just the vibe of the ballpark, the fans, I mean, they get, what, 3,000 a game?
2,000.
2,000 a game? Okay, it feels like 3 with the noise they make sometimes, and that one's drilled to left field.
Right at Owen Diodati. Nice break for Harrison. Costello on first, 1 away in the bottom of the ninth. 10-3 Gatemen.
Combine the fans with the ballpark. I like you got the stands that sink toward the field as opposed to stands that come up on either side. It's actually the field that's set lower than where the fans sit and where you walk around atop the ballpark. The hills on both sides, and then just a good atmosphere all around. It's a nice ballpark, and yeah, the fans there really do make it what it is, though. Just the stereotypical Cape Cod. It's exactly what you think of, the quintessential Cape Cod League ballpark over there at Veterans Field.
Hunter jump at the plate now. 1-0 count. I'd have to agree with you, Nick. That pitch roped to right field. Backing up is Kern, and he makes the catch at the wall.
I'll tell you what, that's a home run in every other ballpark here on the Cape. It is a long way out there, 360, to where Kern made that catch fairly close to the right field corner.
And I apologize. That's Daniel Perron Jr. making that nice catch in right field. He replaced Kern. Well, there's a memory for the Cape League. It's a heck of a play out and right. 2 away in the bottom of the ninth. John Garcia at the plate takes a fastball for a strike. 10-3 Gatemen. An out away from snapping a 4-game losing streak and getting their first win of the summer against Bourne. That pitch, a change up inside, 1-1. Costello on first. 2 away in the bottom of the 9th. 7-run Wareham lead. The 1-1, a fastball that's cut on and missed. Blown by Garcia. A strike away. Harrison from the belt. The 1-2, fastball low and outside. Ten runs for the Gatemen on 17 hits, 3 for Bourne on just 3 hits. Gatemen had 9 runs in the 5th that has propelled them throughout this game. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Got a fastball by him, and the Gatemen win it. 10-3 the final from Doran Park. 4-game losing streak snapped, and the first win against the Braves in 2021 comes in style. A convincing 10-3 victory. We'll break it all down on our post-game show in a moment. Final from Doran Park, Wareham 10, Braves 3. See you in a moment for the post-game. Welcome into the Gatemen post-game show. Jack Sadighian, Nick Magas. 10-3 win for Wareham. The final line, 10 runs off 17 hits and 1 Bourne error. The Braves, 3 runs off of 3 hits and no Gatemen errors. A complete performance for Wareham, and they finally get that sought-after win against the Braves in their final try in 2021.
Well, they came in here and did exactly what they wanted to do, which was A, get out to an early lead, B, pitch a good, clean game against a very good offense, and C, win a game against Bourne. You needed to do it this year, and the Gatemen snap a 4-game skid. They get the job done and beat the best team on the Cape.
Gatemen improved to 12-18-5. The Braves to 23-8-3. And this game came down to 1 inning, the 5th inning. Gatemen, 9 runs off of 8 hits and a Bourne error. Just a absolute dominant inning, the most runs they've scored in an inning this summer. And everybody got in on the action, Nick.
Just about everybody. It was already out of hand. They had 7 runs with 2 outs, and Tommy Troy came to the plate. Definitely the highlight of the inning. It was single after single after single, death by 1,000 cuts if you're a member of the Bourne pitching staff. But Tommy Troy came up, second to last batter, 11th batter of the inning, and ripped a 2-run shot on top of the batting cages in left field. That scored Jim Jarvis after his double. Tommy Troy finished his day 3 for 5 with 3 runs scored, one of those thanks to his very own home run, the only long ball of the day hit by the Gatemen. Jarvis, who scored on that play, also 4 for 5 on the day with a double. He had 2 bunt singles, an infield single, and a double. as well as a hard-hit ball in the 7th inning. Kind of funny to call that a good day, but it's a great day for Jim Jarvis, who, once again, 4 for 5. Multi-hit game from Diodati as well. Brannigan, who continues a hot stretch at the plate. The Gatemen putting everything together tonight, but just a little bit too little too late in terms of their season.
Cole Kirschiber gets the win. He went 4 scoreless, only gave up 1 hit on the mound, and especially impressive in the 4th when he got in the bases loaded jam and worked out of it.
Yeah, I got a big strikeout. You mentioned he was a strikeout pitcher a number of times, Jack, and he did just that. Soft contact, a strikeout to get him out of the inning. He was very, very impressive. And yeah, it's a different situation when you come into a game. You're working through clean innings, nobody on base, don't have to worry about any base runners, don't have to worry about throwing strikes, pitching to hitters, pitching to good hitters. But Kirschiber showing he could stick to the game plan and do just that when in trouble. With the bases loaded, had to stick to his guns, and he did that against a very good Bourne lineup, still leading the Cape League in batting average and as well as offensive categories across the board.
Around the league before we close it out, Nick, Cotuit defeating Falmouth. They eliminate the Gatemen from playoff contention. Knew it was a long shot, but the Gatemen are officially out of the race, which is tough, but still a lot of games of the season. Harwich securing their playoff spot with the win over Brewster, so it will be Brewster and Harwich out of the East. Bourne already has clinched the West, and it's between Cotuit and Falmouth, but Cotuit slightly over to kind of translate the win percentage over, so a good chance that with 3 games left.
Not to mention they're hot.
Right, and a good chance with 3 games left they end up in that second spot in the West. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But the Gatemen will close the season with a home field tomorrow, then at Gov Fuller Field, and a final home game against Hyannis to finish the season. Nice to snap the losing streak tonight and get a big win. Again, the Gatemen defeat Bourne 10-3, improve to 12, 18-5. The Braves down to 20.